Hi everybody, my name's Kate. As you already may be aware, my apologies for not being able to catch you on the live Zoom, but I have received some of the questions that you did ask after seeing the pre-recorded video. So I've just put them on this PowerPoint and I'm going to go through them with you now. If you do have any further questions or anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via email. I have also put my Instagram account at the end of this presentation that you can reach out to as well. So for the first question, the 9-month contract, are there any variations? So unfortunately, there are no variations at the moment. It is a consecutive 9 months that you will be on board, and most likely will be on board just one ship throughout those 9 months. Family, can they get accommodation or a discount rate? It's dependent on the cruise line, cruise ships and things like that. I wouldn't necessarily say at a fitness position, but if you decided to go into management, there are other options to be able to get your family to cruise. I personally, when I was spa manager, had a double berthed room, and on Princess Cruises, which I worked on at the time, I was able to get my mum onto sail because she was able to share my cabin with me. So it is variable, and something that I never quote upon when I'm interviewing somebody is something you need to see when you do get on board the ship. Age. So for your age, you do have to be 18 to interview and to join the ship. And there are no maximum age requirements, so you can join at any point in your life. And I do always like to point out, I do think sometimes people get the misunderstand sometimes due to the fact we do come into colleges and do talks and presentations, which is the majority of usually 18, 19-year-olds. But on board our ships within the spa, there is a big fluctuation of different ages. Some people, it's their career to work on board. I've worked with people that have been on their 18, 19 contracts on the ships, your spa managers that have been on board for a long time. And also the crew in the other departments, that is their career on ships, to be on board, from guest services all the way up to hotel management, the captain, for example. So there is a massive age variety on board cruise ships. Also, with any other requirements, you do need to get a C1D visa, which is a US visa. We give you the necessary documentation and help to apply for that visa. And you will also need a criminal background check as well. Are there group or one-on-one PT sessions, and how many of them do you do? So as you would have seen in the presentation, with our role on board a cruise ship, it is not quite like it is on land in a gym. It isn't that you're going to be doing personal trainings all day, every day. That is not the core part of the business. You have your 30% fitness aspect and your 70% sales. With your 30% fitness aspect, that is going to be your group classes, your skip spin, boot camp, TRX, yoga, Pilates, boot camp that we train you in at the academy, and also your one-on-one PT sessions. Yes, you will have some, but you have to remember people are on vacation as well. People will pre-book for personal trainings, and also it can be an add-on to your detoxification program. You do an exercise plan. If that guest isn't comfortable going to the gym, they haven't gymmed before, they want you to take them through that exercise plan, you can add that personal training session on or more, to make sure that they're comfortable and understand that plan that you've provided them with. There we go. So your training is in London, okay? That is where our academy is based, and we provide you accommodation for that. We either have host families or the YMCA accommodation, and we provide you with dinner. So you do have to provide yourself with breakfast and lunch. There are many shops, cafes, etc. around the academy and around the accommodation, with very affordable prices to buy that breakfast and lunch as well. So the pay rate. So what I've done is I've actually brought in the slide from the presentation just to run you through that again. So as I would have said in that presentation, there is no basic wage. It is a commission and tip-based role. So you do earn through a service commission, which is a percentage of the cost of the service, your classes, your PTs, your one-on-one in-body consultations, and your service commission can be anything from 4 to 7%. Your retail commission, which will always be 9%, which is your good feet and your detoxification programs. And then also your auto gratuity, maybe you know it as a service charge. So if a guest has a service that's $100, they're now paying $115 because 15% of that service is added on top to go to the person who provided them with that. Okay, so that $15 would go directly into your pocket. Now, as I said, there isn't a basic wage, there is a minimum monthly guarantee of $800. That means if your service commission, retail commission, and auto gratuity do not add up to $800 in a month, the company would top that money up. So for whatever the reason, those three things only added up to $600, the company will say, here's your $600 plus an extra $200 from us to make it to the $800. But if those three things added up to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever it might be, the company will say, there's your money. Okay, so you have to see the $800 as a minimum safety blanket for you as a staff member on board. But you need to see the more services, the more retail you do, the more money you're going to make. Now, on board, you will be provided with targets, but it does not matter if you do not hit your target or you go above your target, your commissions and your auto gratuities will be the same percentages. Okay, so in that regards, there is not necessarily any bonuses, but if you do hit targets, day targets, retail targets, your incentives from that is time off. Okay, so extra hours time off on those port days that you would be working. Away from your minimum monthly guarantee, there are obviously also added tips. So the guest comes up to you, thank you so much, I've really enjoyed your classes this week, here's an extra $10, $20, $50, $100 cash tip. Okay, you take that directly, you put it in your pocket. Okay, and that does not come under your $800. What are the detox supplements? So I have just provided you a small link here to the detoxification page of the Time to Spa, which is the company that we work with for guests who are on board. If they wanted to repurchase any of our products that they've bought on board the ship, they can head to that website. Your capsules, so your 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12-month LMS detoxification products are on board, and also your 28-day detox plan is on there as well, so you can have a look and read through all your ingredients, benefits, etc. as well. Just to let you know as well, if you are successful at interview, one of the first documents that I would give you is a starter pack for fitness, and this gives you all your pre-learning that you need to know before you join the academy. So you aren't just joining day one at the academy not knowing anything, you have that pre-learning, that information you know, and we advance upon that when you get to the academy. Days off, can you accumulate, for example, save them for a week off? So on board, there's those two types of days, a sea day and a port day. A sea day is your big business day. For example, you're going to do your classes, your seminars on those days, your consultations, and your port days is when the ship is docked in a destination. The guests can get off, and so can you if it's your time off as well. So because of this, and the itineraries of the ships do change, you can have sea day, port day, sea day, or port day, sea day, port day, whatever it might be, you can't take those sea days off, okay? So you can't save your days off to accumulate them for another week off, all right? You do have to take them for business needs on your port days. When do the contracts begin? So every single day, people are coming on and off ships. We work on over 200 cruise ships across the world. So training is every month. So every training is every 3 weeks. A new program begins at the London Academy. Once you're at the academy, within a few days of you completing that 3-week training program, you will have your flight details, your ship details, and be sent over to your ship. So it's a continuous thing throughout the year that your contracts begin, and also training begins. One-on-one PT, how do they assign them to the coach? So on board, it does depend on the size of the team. Some ships have 1 personal trainer, some have 2, and the really large vessels have 3. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it is not a core part of the business. If a personal training is booked in before the cruise, they pre-book that, or they come on to the desk throughout the cruise and book in. It is split evenly across the 3 or the 2 personal trainers, or obviously just goes to the 1 if there is the 1 personal trainer on the ship. Typical day, what hours? So a typical day would start at 7 a.m. for a personal training. You'd have stretch for 30 minutes, abs. And again, the amount of classes does depend on the amount of personal trainers, the size of the vessel. So you'd have a few hours of classes that morning. So yoga, Pilates, TRX, spin. 11 o'clock would be your detox seminar, a 1-hour lunch, and then you would have your good feet seminar. And then in the afternoon, you would go through your consultations from your 11 o'clock seminar, your one-on-one in-bodies. And also, again, dependent on the amount of instructors, you may have a couple of classes in the afternoon as well. As I mentioned in a couple of slides ago, there is not an hourly rate. This is a commission and tip-based job. What is the interview process? So if you wanted to apply, you can either directly send me your CV or apply online at www.londonwellnessacademy.com and go through that process as well. And currently at the moment, the process is via Zoom. I hope to get out to Australia at the end of the year as well and do some in-person interviews, and that would be happening every few months. But at the moment it is on Zoom. In that Zoom, I go through the presentation just more in depth. Now you're actually applying for the job. Each person would do their public speaking, whether it's on Zoom or in person, in front of the rest of the group that are interviewing, tell them a little bit about themselves, their experience, especially experience that they've had in the past, whether it is in the fitness industry or not. For example, sales, working towards targets, commission-based, running a gym column, any public speaking experience. And then also you will need to do a practical. Now, if you are interviewing via Zoom, this is something you will have to film away from the Zoom, a 10 to 15 minute HIIT session with a client or group. If you are interviewing in person, then you will work with another person who is in the fitness. They're applying for a fitness job role, and each of you will take time to hold a quick 5-10 minute HIIT session that I can listen to as well. If you are successful, I will then let you know, and then I will be the person and your point of contact that will help you get through all your paperwork process and help you get to the training academy. So yeah, you will need a passport, an international passport that you can use across the globe. As I mentioned already, you will need a visa, C1D visa, which allows you to transit through the US as a crew member. We do assist you to get that. And if you would have seen in the first presentation, you do pay for that, and we reimburse that cost for you once you are on your ship, which is about $160. Can you have time off in 9 months if needed? Now, just to make you aware, if there is you have a medical issue that means you need to disembark and go home and get treatment, there is those certain aspects. And also if there is an emergency with an immediate family member back home, we do assist in those circumstances to get you home, and you can rejoin at a later date after that emergency at home. But you can't just say, I need a month off or something like that. It is you signed a contract for a consecutive 9 months, but as I just mentioned, there's those couple of circumstances that may allow you and need to get home. Okay. And those have gone through, I've gone through those questions for you. I know obviously you may have already got my Instagram Cruise with Kate, but you can contact me directly through there on DMs. Have a look at a few of the pictures. Those are all people that I've personally recruited over the last 5 years. I repost their pictures, etc. Also, Fitness at Sea, that is Dan Pennell's Instagram. He is the fitness supervisor. He travels across all of the ships and does trainings, and is also your point of contact when you are on the ship. If you need assistance, you get send in your weekly reports to him. So it is always great. You can reach out to him as he's there. Now, I believe he's in Alaska at the moment doing trainings over there, because we have a lot of the ships up in Alaska at the moment. And then also our main website where the application page is, and also any other information you might want to find out. But as I said, if you are interested in applying at the moment, you can directly send me your CV, and I will reach out with you some times and dates that I have for Zoom interviews at the moment. Thank you so much. And if you have anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out.